G. Bush, the Cleveland Browns are 2 minutes away from giving us our second Victory Monday of the season on UCSS on Friday. We all made our predictions, G. 4 of the 5 people on the show picked the Browns win. You were the lone person that said, I refuse to believe this Cleveland Browns team can beat any opponent with the way they're playing. So I'm going to let you open it up before I even say anything. Why were you leaning towards Miami beforehand? And what did you see today that, I say this respectfully, you couldn't have been more wrong?
Hey, listen, let me tell you this. I was like, I'm not picking them no more until they show me something. And you know what? They came out and showed me something. Let me talk about this. You text earlier and I saw it. You said that might have been the most creative I've seen Kevin Stefanski in about a year and a half. Like, I like the fact that he came out today with the Wildcat. He listen, today, I don't know if they had a meeting behind closed doors. He said, listen, push come to shove, it's raining out here. We're not going to play no games. Quinshon Judkins, if we got to go to the Wildcat, we're going to get it popping.
Gee, I don't mean to cut you off, but I had a bad tweet today. I want to call myself out because I want to address this. No, I'm serious. I want to address this. When they took Dillon out for that first Wildcat play, I was like, they want to run Wildcat. And then they left Dillon on the sideline and ran the second Wildcat play that Judkins scored. And I tweeted out at that time, what does it say about Gabriel that they're having their quarterback on the sideline in a goal to go situation? If the weather was fine, I think I'd make a bigger deal out of it. I think with the weather, they just wanted to get the ball in Quinshon's hands, eliminate the handoff potential. Bad job. I think I was trying to make something out of it that it wasn't. So I just want to apologize to people because I got a lot of people mad at me. Bad tweet. I have some winners. I have some losers. Hand up. I don't have an issue with them taking out DG there. And it worked. They scored 2 touchdowns on it. So,
hey, they took look, overarching theme. I thought the defense had some new wrinkles. Evidently, Myles Garrett went in and talked to Jim Schwartz. Like, listen, I know we can get home with 4, but give me something else. Stimulated pressure. The last
that last one was filthy.
I said, y'all bringing some new wrinkles. So, they had a lot of turnovers. They got some pressure. Myles Garrett got a sack. I thought Alex Wright played well. My man, Tyson Campbell. First of all, I didn't know he's fast like that.
Yeah,
he ran down
Georgia Southeast Conference all track while at Georgia is like elite level athlete. G.
Yeah, he ran down Achane like, come here, let me talk to you.
And for people who don't know, by the way, Achane was an All-American in the 100-meter dash at A&M. Like, he has Olympic level track speed, and Tyson Campbell chased him down.
Come here, let me tell you something. But listen, I'm gonna tell you what. We talked about it beforehand. Hey, Mike McDaniels and you Dolphins, don't get on the plane, bro.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
This was the Fire Bowl, and we said, hey, listen, Stefanski wasn't going to get fired during the year. However, people make their decisions about him long-term. But Mike McDaniels, bye, dog. Listen, it was looking nasty.
I've never seen a coach look more fired on the sideline than Mike McDaniels did. With the rain coming down and he has his shades on and the hood on. I'm not the first one to make these jokes, but he looks like a Coke dealer. Like that, he just dresses like a Coke dealer on the sideline.
Cowboy.
And there's nothing sadder than a drug dealer standing in the rain waiting for the guy to come make the pick. Like, there's nothing sadder than that. And I'm sorry, Mike McDaniel, you're a good dude. You're a good offensive coordinator. Just didn't work out as a head coach. But hey,
bye. Maybe you might. Listen, when a head coach is hard to come back from the Aviators, bro. Yeah. When you got the Aviators on with the
transition lenses, by the way, they're transition lens Aviators. Gee, that's a director Steve thing, bro. He's the only one. Him and Mike McDaniel, the only 2 transition lens aviator guys in America. But real talk. My big takeaway from this game, G, is we have spent the last couple weeks, rightfully so, talking about the dysfunction of the Cleveland Browns, how they have not been able to score 17 points, which they did today, how they haven't been able to make stops defensively frequently enough for the talent on the defense. Mm-hmm. And they were one of the worst teams in football. And as bad as we have been discussing the Browns of being, and I think we've done a justifiable job at calling out their shortcomings, they're significantly better than Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins are the worst team in football right now. I don't think it's a question. They have completely quit on the coach. And I want to say something because I already saw a super chat that said, calm down, it's the Dolphins. We know it's the Dolphins. I picked the Browns to win this game. Mm-hmm. I know the Dolphins suck. And here it is, HNT 63 as the Dolphins calm down. Guess what? The Browns suck. And they ain't going to win a lot of games. So I ain't trying to do one of the few Victory Monday and Victory Post-game shows we have with actual good things to talk about. And I'm not even from here, G. So I want you to elaborate on this. But for a bad team, you got to beat teams to learn how to win. And we talked about it last week. You don't just win by accident. You have to learn how to win. And yes, the Dolphins suck. No one's going to come out here and say they just beat a world beater, Super Bowl caliber team. They did beat the Packers earlier in the year. That was a good win. Or a legit contender. We understand who the Dolphins are, but don't let anybody, don't let HNT or whatever, don't let anybody try and poo-poo a win. A win in the NFL is not easy to come by. Look at the Raiders today. Got shut out by the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at some of these other teams who are getting curb stomped. The Browns ain't one of them. And for at least the next week, we ain't got to worry about the doom and gloom. The Browns are 2-5 now, man. They have some semblance of life. It's not a lot.
Here's how you got to compartmentalize this thing, man. You might not be where you want to be in life, but certain steps you got to take to get to be where you want to be. And one of those steps is finding ball players. Listen, you got a guy. Quinshon Judkins is a dude. If you line up everybody in the NFL, if you line them up and you say, tell me which one of these dudes is a dude, you finally have someone to spam. You finally look the same way that they spam. We talked about this. You see the way they spam Jamar Chase? You got the opportunity to spam Quinshon Judkins and a lot. I love what Kevin Stefanski. Look, and I'm not the biggest Kevin Stefanski. You know where I stand on Kevin. But at least Kevin understood the assignment this week. It's raining. I'm not about to be putting this ball. It was a couple slight almost turnovers, but they didn't happen. We're not going to talk about them. Now, he said, I'm going to snap the ball and give it to my best player. And you know what? See what happens? 3 touchdowns. He had over 100 yards, right? He had over 100.
I think he was at 86. I don't actually.
That's so nasty. They got to spam him some more to get him 100. I need 100, even if you got to call timeouts like it's Madden.
So it's funny, G. He has a 46-yard run. And if you take out that 46-yard run, he's got 24 carries for 38 yards. Miami actually did a good job containing Quinshon Judkins. And unlike in previous games where they've got stuffed running the ball, Kevin Stefanski continued to run the ball. And they got a couple of Samson runs. I thought they were a little more creative in the screen game. This does not absolve all the criticism of Stefanski.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not changing my opinion big picture off one win over Miami, but he did. I texted you on the second quarter. He ran a back-to-back play sequence in the second quarter and another sack for the Browns, which will officially close the deal. Number 31, McMillan, with the sack to end it. But they ran a play sequence in the second quarter, G, where they had Sampson and Judkins on the field together. They motioned Sampson to the left. Judkins was on the right of Gabriel. He came over to the left, took the handoff, ran up the middle for 4 or 5 yards. On the very next play, they set up in the same formation. They had the motion. They had Judkins come over. Judkins then went out into the flat, and they came across with a tight end screen on the backside.
Is that the one where Malachi Corley caught that screen pass? Was that another? I
don't even remember who caught the pass.
I think it was Malachi Corley who got the screen, and it was nice. I said, "Oh, you see what happens when you got some eye candy here, eye candy here. We set it up to play before." And boom!
They sequenced, they layered. And once again, this does not absolve all the Stefanski hate. Like, it doesn't. He's still in the hot seat, and in everyone's mind he should be. This doesn't take him off by any means. But you got to give credit where credit's due. And I thought he did a good job today figuring out what Miami's weakness was, figuring out how could we best attack. Listen, the rain was a factor. I live downtown, G. It's disgusting out down here. The wind was still, unlike throwing the ball 50-plus times against Pittsburgh, they threw the ball 18, 19 times today. Like, the game plan that if we drew up and said, what should it look like? This is what it should have looked like. And it worked. They won 31. The game's officially over right now, 31-6. The Browns are now 2-5 on the season. And when the offense, and we'll go back to what Myles Garrett said this week, teams don't feel like they have to go for it. They can just punt because they know our offense isn't going to score. Well, when the offense can put up a couple points, and they broke the 17-point streak that finally Kevin Stefanski has a game where he's called offensive plays where his offense has scored 17 points dating back to 2023. Then they can get a little more creative on defense. And that simulated pressure at the end that led to the pick is the perfect example. They dropped back. Delpit got in. Tua, who, my goodness, G. Bush, I don't think I'd take Tua if they offered a second-round pick with him. Well, obviously, he was so bad. But then you get guys, Quinshon Judkins played awesome. Tyson Campbell played awesome. Schlesinger and Graham both were. Graham, by the way, we'll talk about it. Graham was awesome. This was the best game I thought so far. I know it's hard to get a defensive tackle reading when you're not going back and watching the All-22 and seeing them on play-to-play, but it's a good team win. And the best part, G, and the best part about this win, they didn't ask Dillon to do anything.
Yeah,
he got away with he got away with a pick that got called back for pass interference. That was ticky-tacky. He should have thrown a pick on that. But they said, hey, we're going to basically win this game without needing our quarterback to do anything. And that is the sign of a team that played good complementary football. It doesn't mean continue it next week. It doesn't mean they haven't done it in the past. But for today, for 3 hours today, they played damn good complementary football.
Look, sometimes, man, like it's just like today I felt like they did this. You know how you was driving when you started driving and you was driving for a little bit and they gave you your driver's license. Now I'm from Ohio. You could start doing your driver's ed at 14. I don't know. And y'all in Texas, they let y'all do anything y'all want to down there. And in New York, Jersey.
So like it was 15 permits, 16 license in Jersey.
Okay. So I got my license when I was like 15 and a half. Mm-hmm. And I had them ready. My mom was like, the state of Ohio believes that you can drive a car. That has nothing to do with me. So, like, it was to a point, like, she was just like, yeah, you cool, but I do not count. No, I do not trust you driving at night. I don't trust you driving by yourself long distances. So I felt like this was one of them games where they like, yeah, Dillon, we know you done started a couple games, but under no circumstances will you be driving when it's raining outside. Come on here, sit by me. When they
great analogy. It's a great analogy.
It's like, no. Here we go. We hand this ball off. And then when we skidded a little bit, when a couple of them turnovers, the first one I was scared a little bit when he threw it that Jerry Jeudy caught. I thought the guy was running the other way.
It went through his hand, went right through the defender's hands into Jerry Jeudy's. It should have been a bit. He threw at least 2, maybe 3 turnover-worthy plays. We'll get the number from PFF, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't really
coaching
matter.
Staff. What I can understand from them is being like, oh, so that's what time we on. Quinshon, come on over here, big dog. Yeah, we're gonna just snap it to you and get these touchdowns, and then we'll live to fight another day. But sometimes that's what you need to do. And by the way, the defense backed them up with turnovers and a special teams turnover, by the way, too.
Yeah, it was complimentary football to the max. You got a special teams turnover. You got 3 picks or 2?
Yep, 3 picks,
including a pick 6. So your defense scored.
There you go.
You scored 3 touchdowns on offense.
You didn't miss any kicks. No kicks.
All three from G. You didn't turn the football over, right? Am I missing something? They didn't turn the football over.
No.
So you won the turnover battle by 4, right? When's the last time the Browns won the turnover battle by 4? Like I think it's probably happened.
Never.
Twice in Stefanski's tenure.
I'm trying to think of a game.
I mean, maybe when they beat. I mean, when's the last time the Browns have beat the brakes off a team like that, G? Have we ever had a post-game show that was this
lopsided?
No. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm genuinely trying to think.
Nah, I don't think so.
Like, this is a weird feeling.
Even the games where I thought they were pretty good, I remember we weren't doing it back then. I thought there was a game against the Dallas Cowboys where the Browns came out a couple of years ago when they played in Dallas.
Pre-UCSS though, that was not.
Yeah, it was pre-UCSS. They played pretty well. Like, it's tough to think. Baker, there was a Baker game. Maybe I know we ain't getting into this, but it was a Tennessee Titans game. We played at Tennessee.
Blew the brakes off them.
Yeah. That was a good game too.
Pre-UCSS, but no, I mean, listen, this is a great win, and once again, don't give a rat's ass who they played.
No, I'm going to take the win.
A good team win today.
I'll take the win.
Once again, the Browns had an over-under win total projection of 5 this year, right? It was 4.5.
There's 2 of them.
4.5 or 5. They got 2. And you can't get to 3 unless you get to 2, right? And you can't get to 4 unless you get to 3. You can't get to 3 unless you get to 2. You got to stack wins somewhere. And when we look at the schedule, G, the Patriots looked awesome again today. That's going to be a tough game next week. The Jets are just as much of a dysfunctional cluster, you know what, as Miami is right now. They benched Justin Fields, so Tyrod Taylor could be their starting quarterback moving forward. I'm not saying this team's going to rattle off 4 or 5 wins in the next 5-6 weeks, but if they play like they did today, they can keep these games competitive. And if you keep these games competitive, we see across the NFL every single week, you got a chance to win.
But
and real quick, like you go back to last week, right? The Giants beat the Eagles. The Falcons beat the Bills. Like on paper, you don't think that's going to happen beforehand. It happens because you keep it close. The other team makes a mistake. You take advantage. You capitalize. The Browns haven't been in those kind of positions because they've been so bad out of the gate, and they get down and then they're trying to fight back. This team's not built to fight back. And next thing you know, they win a game like this, and we all feel a lot better about it.
You know, I think to me, I think if you put, I want to see what this is, right? You win this game, and generally speaking, if you win the turnover battle by 4, it's bad weather. You don't miss any kicks. You don't turn the ball over. You do what you need to do, and you come out with a win, and you get all these points. We want to see, okay, let's put that together. So you got that. You got this dub. Put it together. I want to see if this means going into and next week they got the Patriots, right?
Yeah, Patriots in New England next week.
It's at New England. We want to see we want to see if you learn something.
Yeah.
We want to see if you're going to put 2 of these together. Here's the thing, though, I will say, and why this is important. Because you have a bunch of young people on your team, and you saw Quinshon Judkins on the sideline trying to get everybody up, just being demonstrative. You see, guys like Mason Graham excited. You seen Grant Delpit make some plays. You see Myles Garrett.
Might have been the best game Delpit played in a while, for the record.
Very, very long time. And he needed one of them games because guess what? He was coming out talking, right? Mm-hmm. He was saying a lot of stuff. Myles Garrett was saying a lot of stuff. And listen, the thing that I get is a lot of people's like, Myles Garrett said this and that. Listen, when you as a defender, you need energy level, and sometimes you need to cause a stir. You need to shake people up a little bit to get people uncomfortable. And if he's gonna get people uncomfortable, he's gonna give me a sack, and I can get turnovers and strips, and we gonna run Quinshon Judkins, and Stefanski gonna get a little more creative. I'll take it. When you got something good, McNuggets, when you need to make noise and shake people up. Any good organization is going to have some conflict back and forth. I'll show you anybody that's kumbaya and walking on eggshells. I'll show you losers. Anybody going to have some conversation and back and forth. Hey, on UCSS, we got conversations and meetings all the time. We don't be agreeing. We look at each other funny, man. Yeah. But here's the thing. We say what we need to say. We talk what we need to talk, and we come back and do it again. That's what you need to be doing.
And by the way, when Myles made those comments this week, like it puts pressure on the whole organization. He's this pillar of your franchise. When the pillar of your franchise is comfortable criticizing essentially everyone else within the building to the public media, and he knows exactly when Myles opens his mouth, he understands what's going to come out. Not from what he's saying, but like how the media is going to react. Myles is not an idiot. Like, let's make things very clear. Myles understands. Myles understands how this game works. Trust me. He understands exactly what he's doing. These are premeditated kind of things. And I appreciate that from Myles at certain times, because then it does light a fire underneath everyone in there knowing, hey, if Myles is going to call us out, we got to back it up. Now, it's great to do it 1 week, G. It's great to do it 1 week. You got to do it 2 weeks in a row. And you got to make that 2 weeks into the bye, into 3 weeks coming out of the bye. And we'll see what happens after that. But it's one thing to beat a team like Miami in the fashion they did. In the rain, in the elements. You got essentially nothing from Gabriel. You didn't ask him to do anything. You didn't really get much from the passing game. You were able to win this game based off the running attack and the defensive efforts. You're not going to win every week like that, right? So now it's about building blocks. It's okay, if this is the foundation, where can we build? Where can we improve? How can we take what we did today and some of the creativity we saw in both the passing and the running game, in some of the defensive schemes, and build upon it against a tougher team? I'm watching the highlights right now of New England putting up 31 points on Cam Ward and the Titans. They're playing well. They're 5-2, G. Like they're the not anti-Browns, but record-wise, they're the complete opposite. Cleveland 5-2 versus 2-5 in New England. Like, that's no easy game. And
against Vrabel.
Oh, against Vrabel, obviously. Yeah, and I want to give Quinshon a shout out real quick because they're showing some Quinshon highlights. That dude almost never goes down by the first tackle. And I understand that outside of that 46-yard run, G, he had 24 carries for 38 yards, which is atrocious. Like, that's 1.4 yards a carry. Like, that's clearly, obviously not good. But the touchdown he had in the Wildcat on the goal line where he bounced off the high snap, they're showing another one here where he took it left, cut right, made a guy miss. He only got 2 yards on the play. It should have been a loss of 4. Those little nuances that keep you ahead of the chain put the Browns and put Dillon Gabriel in particular in positions to be successful today. And success, and I want to make this clear because I've already seen a bunch of Super Chats, G, and we're going to get to it. We'll get to Super Chats. Success is keeping the offense on the field no matter how it looks. You don't have to hit an 80-yard bomb to have a successful play as a quarterback, right? Like, sometimes the right play is to check it down, take 2 yards, make it 2-8 instead of taking a sack. And today, Dillon was not perfect. I don't even know if I can really give Dillon a grade because he almost didn't do anything. But it didn't put the Browns in disadvantageous positions to get them stuck behind the chains and make things more difficult in inconvenient weather. So,
by the way,
give credit.
By the way, here's the thing that you guys got to get and understand is that just not turning the ball over ain't gonna get it done. At some point, here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna say, and those same guys that made the comments that be like, we got to switch something up, we got to figure this out. If Dillon Gabriel continues to be not pulling his weight or putting him in the best position, they're gonna make a move. It is what it is. Yeah. So this week is fine. You can say, okay, this week we did what we did enough to win. But the marker is, and I've always said this about Dillon Gabriel, it's the progress. Mm-hmm. Where are you week 1? That's why I tell people you need a succession of games. You know why? Because I want to see progress from week 1 to 2 to 3. How much are they giving you? They said we want to see what you do. So I need to see improvement upon this next week to see what we're talking about.
I thought Adam Archuleta and Spirit, was it Didi Spiros? How do you pronounce his name? Spiros, whatever. Mm-hmm. I thought they did a pretty good job on the call. And I don't know if it was Archuleta or Spiros who said it, but they said, all right, Dillon, every quarterback needs their thing. Like, you're still trying to figure out what Dillon's thing is.
Right.
It's not mobility.
Okay.
I don't think it's arm strength, right? Like
it's serviceable.
Yeah, but it's not like his thing. Like what is your
what's your superpower?
Listen,
and now sound like Mary Kay because she said superpower. What is your
what's your separator?
What's your money maker?
Yeah, and I don't think we know what Dillon's is yet, right? And he may not have one. Not every quarterback has one, for the record. The good ones obviously have one. The above average ones have one that they can count on pretty reliably.
Right. It comes and goes, but it's consistent though.
And then backups are typically guys that don't have a superpower, but they can keep the boat steady. And I think right now the evaluation of Dillon is in the immediate time, right where feet planted right now, G. If he has a superpower, what is it? And I hate using that word. We got to think of a better word.
Now we got to find another.
What's his thing? Right? What's his sticking thing?
What is it? What is it?
Right. We need to find that. And big picture. And I said this from the get-go. G, I said it on the postgame show last week. I said it to everyone at Sweet Pork Wilson's. I believe they drafted Dillon Gabriel to be the backup quarterback for the next 10 years. Like, I think that was the whole point they drafted Dillon Gabriel to be. And in the evaluation they're getting with him as the starter right now, does he show the requisite traits to be the backup to whoever the eventual franchise quarterback is? And ironically enough, by doing nothing today, that's exactly what you want a backup to do. Right? Like in a weird way, the thing that I think he may have as his thing is he doesn't have a thing, but he's not bad at a lot of things.
Right.
He's perfectly okay in a lot of categories, which is kind of what you want in a backup. So that's a long-winded answer to say I don't think he eventually has like a thing, but he played well enough today to get a win.
Yeah.
He didn't F things up, for lack of a better word. And the way I viewed the pick from the get-go was he's a guy that Kevin doesn't want to F things up because your backup quarterback's a guy you just want to get in there and keep it status quo.
There it is. And here's the thing, too. Because if I would eventually want to see Shedeur Sanders play, which you already know how I feel about the situation. I don't even know why I even got to say that. But I want the highest version of Quinshon Judkins when he's there. Mm-hmm. I want the highest version of Kevin Stefanski when he's calling these plays. Yep. So keep these in mind, because here's the thing. If I want the next guy to go in to get a proper evaluation, I want the defense to be there. I want the same effort, because if I get this same effort and elevate the quarterback play, now we talking about something. But listen, I'm not crazy. I'm like, all right, well, cool. This was one of them games where they wasn't even going to be able to, we wasn't auditioning, none of that. He saw the way it was looking first three or four throws and like, no, we're not going to do that. Because at this point, the pressure, and that's what I love about pressure. I love pressure, because pressure either turns up and puts you and makes you a diamond, or pressure makes you crumble and fold. And right now, I'm like, okay, Stefanski, let's see what you got. Because 1-5 versus 1-5, we saw who crumbled. The Dolphins crumbled today. They got a much better. The Browns got a much better defense, and they got more strong-minded characters, because their quarterback Tua melted today. I said, dang, Tua. You had to apologize. You had to apologize, and you melted. Nah, bro.
So bad. I mean, it was. They were like. We could talk about the Browns all we want. I feel like we could do a Dolphins postgame show right now, and we would get 15,000 viewers, because I had Dolphins fans in my mentions. Like, you guys aren't being mean enough about the Dolphins. Like there's the Dolphins fans are so over their own team right now that It's just
I
would hate to be doing media in Miami right now. They're doing crazy numbers because you know what happens when you want to fire a coach. But like, that just sounds absolutely miserable. They're got to go through a whole entire recollection of what they are. But as a team win, man, and G, I want you to bring us into a locker room. Like I'll give you a basketball example that I think is kind of relevant. I want you to bring me into a football locker room for this. We've both been on teams that haven't been very good, right? Like you were on was it 1-9 Ohio?
1-10.
1-10.
1-11, I think.
In high school, my team was booty. In college, we were good 3 years. We were bad 1 year. When you get a win like that, a convincing win, even if you're bad, it does weird things to your mental state. Because how much of sports is confidence, right? Like I'd argue confidence and irrational confidence to an extent is like 15-20% of the whole battle. Like you got to actually believe that you can do some of the stuff that you are then going to go out on a field or out of court and whatever and do, right? And a win like this, G, and Steve Becker just texted us, they scored 31 points on 206 total yards. Like it was not an offensive masterclass by any means, and none of us are going to try and pretend it was. That's actually hysterical, by the way. Like that is an objectively funny number. But to win a game like that, where you beat the living piss out of the opponent on all facets, right? All facets. Controlled the clock, ran the ball well, 3 turnovers, 1 special teams turnover. Everything kind of went in your fashion. It can instill a little like irrational confidence back into your team that you kind of need to then go into a place like New England and to go into the other good teams left in the schedule. They still play like the Bills. They still play the Steelers and the Ravens again. They'll have Lamar back. Like the schedule gets hard again at the end. But you kind of need that boost of irrational confidence to be able to get things rolling. And G, I want you to take us inside a football locker room. Like what could a win like this do for the rest of the guys in the locker room for this team from a morale standpoint? Because we did the topic on Tuesday. Had this been reversed, like we thought this whole thing could have crumbled. And instead of it crumbling, now I think this is kind of a coming together kumbaya moment.
Well, here's the thing. So the team knows who you are, right? So the team knows good and well. Like, all right, man, we ain't good. And we might not get very many other wins. And what you saw cats talking and really talking that noise was saying, bro, my mental health is messed up. When you are losing, and this is what I talked about with the Myles Garrett situation, is when you taking L's after L's after L's after L's and you keep losing, you putting your body on the line. You putting you putting all that time and energy to get ready. Like you don't understand how that is. And that's why I push back when people say, oh, the fans hurt just as much as the players. I'm like, man, that sound good. But the fan ain't going under the knife at the end of the year. The fan, Mike Hall Jr., he been hurt for years.
He played today?
I don't know if Mike Hall Jr. played today, but I know he's back practicing though.
He was a game time decision.
JOK had to learn to walk again. Like we just saw David Bell be like, yeah, I gotta quit playing football forever because if I get hit, I may die. So those things play in the back of your mind. So to get a win, it validates and says, at least I know we ain't gonna win no championship, but it's a payoff. For at least 24 to 48 hours, I can enjoy that we put a uniform on and went out and played another team and we crushed them. We oppose our will on them, and it validates what your defense. Because here's what you guys want to always understand: is that for you to get a proper evaluation of any rookies and to progress, so that Quinshon Judkins or Mason Graham or Schlesinger next year when they put them pads on, they take a major jump. For them to take that major jump, they have to have winning. You don't lose and take no jump. So you need players. This is why it's a team thing. That's why when they say you playing for your brothers, you playing knowing that I'm at a different point in my career where I would like to win. But I understand that it's imperative that I play my tail off so that those other guys can see that what winning is like, even if I know the wins ain't coming that much more. So it's all a thing. That's why when people say we playing for the guys next to you, and it's tough to do that at week 5 or 6. But Mike McNuggets said, you are correct. You can get a little irrational because think, if you put 2 games together, now all of a sudden, well, we done got 3 wins.
Division's not out of the question. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but you win again next week and you can start talking yourself into things. Gee, I got 2 things we got to address before we get to Super Chats. The second thing will be, should they have played Shedeur at the very end? So we'll save that because I know we got a bunch of super chats on it. So we'll just address that in one little discussion before we get to all the super chats. But secondly, I thought this was the most creative Stefanski looked by far this season from an offensive standpoint. You mentioned the creativity from a defensive standpoint from Schwartz. They were playing man coverage press. They were bringing guys in simulated pressure looks. They were bringing guys from the interior. They had Myles Garrett rushing from all different points across the defensive line. I'm curious what changed in Berea this week, where those two or Andrew, whoever made the decision to say, F it, guys, we got to try something else, right? Like just F it, we got to try something else. Because after 5 weeks, 6 weeks, they were 1-5, 6 weeks of kind of the same stagnant offensive playbook, we saw some wrinkles. And maybe it was 3 weeks of Dillon Gabriel they felt comfortable putting it in. I don't know. That's why I want to ask you. And with Jim Schwartz, maybe he was going to unveil this last week against Pittsburgh, but then they make the trade for Tyson Campbell, and they don't have time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have time to at that point. So what do you think changed, and why was this the week in inclement weather, G, that we saw some of these new wrinkles we just frankly haven't seen yet?
Well, I think I'll put it to you like this. It was a promotion demotion. His creativity was, all right, I can't throw the ball with Dillon Gabriel 58 times. It won't work. So how's about let's give my best player the football in any way, shape, or form we can. If it's wildcat, cool. If it's running the ball, cool. If it's screen game, cool. That, to me, means you're thinking outside of the box. To me, for him, and you people say, oh, well, how's that creative? Well, Kevin Stefanski has always done that. We talked about the game, remember, when we laughed and said this should be a heavy run game. And we said, but guess what? Remember that the heavy run game was supposed to be with Deshaun Watson when it was negative 50 degrees and he threw it 30 or so odd times. And I think, what was it? It was the Red Rifle. Andy Dalton threw it like 12 times or something.
He was like 12 to 16 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Literally half as much as the Browns.
Literally. So guess what? He probably got that desperation get to you and be like, we 1-5. This is a 1-5 Dolphin team. We cannot come out here and lose this game, or they might be, the Cats is talking. And the locker room is chirping. They say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a ball to young, fresh legs, and we're going to have to find a creative way to throw the ball a few times to get it done. And guess what? That's all you're asking from your coach. You got to adapt based on what people is doing and giving you and what hands you dealt at that day. So to me, if people was mad, I'm like, oh, Stefanski, like you said earlier, this don't get Stefanski off I still don't think he calling no plays like that. Stop it. But today, you know what he did? He said, I may be foolish and stubborn, but I ain't stupid. Wildcat Judkins, touchdown Browns.
All right, G. And the last thing we got to address, and I'm going to keep my 2 cents on this short because I think it's blatantly obvious, but we got a bunch of super chats of why Shedeur didn't get in at the end for that last drive when they got the ball back with 3 minutes. Let me just say this. If Shedeur played even 2 snaps, the entire conversation surrounding the Browns from the second he stepped to the podium to the second they took the field next week would have been about Shedeur Sanders. And that's not Shedeur's fault. That is not Shedeur's. I am not blaming Shedeur at all. But you know how this game works, G? If Shedeur stepped on the field, the entire conversation would be about how Shedeur looked, what he could have done better, what he didn't do, how he compared to Dillon. It would never have been a fair comparison in one drive versus 3.5 quarters. And I don't think Kevin Stefanski wanted to deal with that this week, right? They just won a football game by 25 points. The conversation about the Browns this week should be about the fact they just beat the brakes off Miami, and now they're getting ready to go take on a New England team that's 5-2. There was no need, in my opinion, to risk an injury to Shedeur, to risk something happening to Shedeur, to put him in a disadvantageous situation with wet grass, inclement weather, all that. I think it's pretty obvious why he didn't play. Am I off on that? Do you have Shedeur not getting in on that last drive?
As a player, you don't even want to be on that drive. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you, bro. Like, it's raining the whole game. You've been chilling there. You probably cold. You want me to go back? You want to go in there and hand the ball off like 3 times and go sit down? Nah, bro. All this, like, look, let me tell you this. When Shedeur gonna get in the game, Shedeur want a game plan. I want to get in this game and cook. I'm not about to come out like that. Ain't doing nothing for nobody to mop up duty to see somebody hand the ball out 3 times. I said, and I'm going to be clear, I said the same thing about what's the name. You good. This is why I always tell people, you good. When I give people the same grace I give you, I want to see where you're progressing from week to week. So when I make a decision to move on and say, okay, I'm going to give Shedeur the opportunity, I want that whole opportunity, just like you got. I don't want Bailey Zappi coming in, taking 3-step snaps here, or now it's enough. Nah, bro. At the end of the day, there was no reason to. They already had the game in tow. No, I'm cool. I'm posted up. I'm the backup. We cooler right now. But when I get my shot, I want to get my full shot.
Yeah.
So, ain't no big deal. It's light.
We're on the same page. All right, let's get the super chat sheet. We'll wrap this baby up. It's a victory Sunday. Set apart Laz says the offense is still trash. HNT says it was the Dolphins. Calm down. We already addressed that. Don't tell any fan to calm down after a win. A win's a win.
We're going to take the win.
Yeah. Chris Cole says the Mike McDaniel shades was nasty work. They looked much better, and we really needed this. I couldn't deal with another week of bad vibes. Absolutely. We're going to have Kool-Aid on the set tomorrow, G.
Thank you. What kind of Kool-Aid we got?
Anthony Antonelli choice when he gets in the morning.
What kind of Kool-Aid we doing tomorrow?
Dolphin juice. We'll figure out what color that is. James Mace Jr. says, I need to see more. The seat is still hot. Agreed. Hey, agreed. This does not absolve Kevin Stefanski. It's a good win. Don't get me wrong, but this does not absolve anybody. One win, one loss does not change anything. Mike Burns says, shout out to the defense at Judd for carrying us to the win. Offense still atrocious. Outside of 10. This win felt weird to me. And yes, a win is a win. B. Haas says, we need rain every Sunday. Spam Judkins.
You're right.
Brody's bottom line says Brown's got a problem. Kevin got a personal problem with Shedeur. If Shedeur can't get in a 31-6 game, he's neither going to play him unless Gabriel gets hurt or Jimmy makes the call. Kevin not going to play him. Jimmy addressed those. I don't think we got to address it again there. Dragon the Abandoner said one defensive stop and made field goal, and they're 4-3.
Now that's some gymnastics. Now that's the
now the Green Bay game also went in their favor.
Yeah,
the Browns should have 3 wins. Like, I'll die in the hill right now. The Browns should have 3 wins. I'm not sure what 3 should be the 3 they have, but the Browns should definitely have 3 wins right now. Squism said Dillon did nothing today. Again, moving a quarterback 2. Medic 51 says, I guess we don't even need a quarterback. # Browns. Nicole says defense and Judkins won this game. I don't care. A win's a win, guys. A win is a win. Wayne says we 2-0 in the all brown. Let's wear them every week.
By the way, we is 2-0 in the all brown. By the way, I saw a super chat that said Tyson Campbell played well. Tyson Campbell did play well today. Listen, he played very well today.
He did. He looks good. I mean, he looks fast. He looks athletic, and he's under a good contract. Got to stay healthy. That's the big thing.
On athleticism, he kind of got G-New.
He's an athlete.
He got G-New. G-New wasn't tracking him down like that.
No.
I'm sorry. Shout out
Cold
to
Rain 34 Leo said the Browns, Kevin trash, disgusting, not playing 12. Raptor Jr. back-to-back weeks, 0 touchdowns by the quarterback. Gee, they just won a game by 25 points. They just won a damn football game by 25 points. You do really. I just want people who are sending these super chats to realize they just won the game by 25 damn points.
You know them folks don't care nothing about that.
I'm just saying. Hunter Brown says, why does everyone hate Dillon? Reggie the Bug Glover says Stefanski could have put Sanders in when Miami's backup came in. We addressed that. We addressed it. We don't got to address everyone. Ochinai says, what else are we waiting on with the quarterback swap? Brody's bottom line said Gabriel's garbage. He still can't throw the ball more than 5 yards. I never did like Kevin, and he's making my point every game. Jimmy, please fire him. He knows the fans want to see Shedeur. Once again, G, they won the game by 25 points today. They won the game by, I just want to point that out. Joseph Dooley says, how would Flacco look? Who cares? They won by 25. Kirk Davis says, what did I see? Did DG really put on a show? No.
Nope.
DG
they took the football from him. Actually, they hid the football. They was like, you're not going to see The Rock today, son.
Torrance Smith says, take away what the running back and defense did. Gabriel put up 6 points. Stefanski is just playing daddy ball at this point. They can't be serious. TJ Alexander says, I'll take the dub, but we still have a quarterback problem. JA says, sorry, guys, Stefanski's trash. No reason Shedeur didn't get his feet wet. Does he dislike the man that much? Missed opportunity for Shedeur. Good team win. HC Cummings says, when a dummy plays an idiot, you don't know what's going to happen. LOL, if Cleveland is doo-doo, Miami's diarrhea.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They were way worse. Studio Leak says the supercomputer has a virus.
Blue screen of death.
L. Smith 1717 said Flacco performance last week, and Dillon today says no quarterback here can perform. So thoughts on no quarterback in round one, instead best receiver and offensive tackle. If so, who would you take? I'm all in on Cardinal Tate. I don't know if he's the number one receiver in the class, but
I like Cardinal Tate.
Filthy,
listen, I ain't done my homework on offensive tackles yet. But I like Cardinal Tate. I like him. He showed me a little something in last game. Like if they gonna take Jeremiah Smith out the game, he making plays. You know what I'm saying?
That first touchdown he had yesterday was
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tay Toon says Dillon is good at being mid. That's his thing. Miss Duke says Stefanski indifference to Shador is troubling. I'm glad we answered that all at once, G, so we don't have to go through each of these. I've been saying, awesomely defined says, I've been saying to see how DG progressed, but it's hard to tell because he looks the same every game. From the eye test, he's just okay, nothing more. It's a perfectly fair assessment so far. Electronic Cornbread said, Fool's goal win for the Brown. I pray Quinshon remains healthy or y'all will be on life support after Boston next week.
Soul Train said say Boston in a minute.
New England, Boston, it's
same joint. Did they call him Boston up there? You lived in the all Eastern Seaboard, right?
Yeah, I mean, I went to school. I played college basketball in Boston.
Yeah, do they call it Boston?
No, they're the New England Patriots. They're not.
They
don't even play. They play an hour and a half outside of Boston. Like they're not even close to Boston.
So that's kind of wild work.
Yeah, they play in Fox. They built Foxborough is like what Independence is going to be. It's
okay.
In the middle. Independence is way closer to Cleveland than Foxborough is to Boston, if that makes sense. But it's a basically they built a facility for football, shops, hotels, bars in one spot around the stadium. Soul Train said might be overreacting, but I like Tyson Campbell. Soul Train, you are not overreacting. He played very well today. And even though last week he got burned on a couple of plays by DK, I thought he also had some pretty good coverage opportunities and a couple of good coverage snaps against DK. When you're playing just straight up one-on-one against a guy like DK, you're going to lose some of those battles. I don't think he played great last week, but I thought he played okay, and I thought today he was really good.
Listen, I like him. He's kind of taller than I thought. I mean, he was out there looking like an Amazon a little bit. He's kind of lanky.
No, you know, like I say, pre-pause, but like he's thick. Like,
that was wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's not like he's not a skinny corner. Like
he got built. You got some size on him.
I pre-paused it.
You did, but it was even crazier because it still was cray.
Let's get to the next one. Paul, the True Believer, says, say it with your chest, McNuggets. The division is not out of the question if you play with an efficient quarterback. Tay Toon says, if we get 12 on the field before crunch time, we can make the playoffs, maybe even take the division. Blank 964 says, finally found a weaker team to beat on. Nicole says DG scored 0 touchdowns against a worse-ranked team. I'll get excited when he scores touchdowns and they beat the Patriots. J.A. says Dillon came in for Flacco, got his feet wet. Boxing Logistics United said even the crowd started chanting, we want Sanders. TW says the game could have been played without DG. It would have been the same. Judkins was the quarterback and the running back.
Yeah, he was.
Eric Davis says smoking on that Miami pack.
Yeah.
L. Smith said, would you trade Tua for Dillon or Sanders? No, I would not. I would not take Tua under any circumstance. I think
I'm cool on Tua.
Just broken.
I mean, by the way, like Tua, I can't say Tua played worse than Gabriel because Gabriel was like kind of inactive.
No, but Tua played worse than Gabriel.
Trash.
Yeah, no, he played worse than Gabriel.
Like Tua was like, I mean, he a veteran.
I'm
like,
bad.
what are you throwing the ball, bro?
He was bad. He got confused. He was just throwing the ball for grabs. He didn't look confident. Anything he did too was objectively bad.
And then here's the thing too. He got taken out of that game because he was bad. It wasn't like the game was over and they was trying to conserve. No, he got taken out.
He got benched for Quinn Ewers.
He got benched.
Yeah.
That wasn't no let me get my guy out of there. That was like, no, you come sit by me, bro.
And last one, Jeffrey Nothing says Gabriel is Dilfer 2.0. Play Sanders, Quinshon, and the D1 this game. Stefanski blows. We got one more real quick. T-Ray 84 says someone from Miami is getting fired tonight. Well, gee, I don't know what to expect, but and we got one more that just came in. QT is pre-pause is the opportunity to change course, sir. You know what? It is what it is.
You're right. That's a pre-pause. That was great because he said McNuggets licked his lips a little bit when he said he was.
Shut up.
He wiped his mouth like.
That's you're doing me dirty. But hey, for a game the Browns won by 31-6. not a ton of positive super chats, but I guess it is what it is. G, we'll celebrate Victory Monday like it should. And we'll see y'all tomorrow on UCSS. We'll have Kool-Aid and 2 hours worth of Browns reaction. We're doing super chats tomorrow, by the way, from 12:15 to 1 o'clock, 12:45 to 1 o'clock. That 15-minute window is for super chats. That's how we're going to do it moving forward. So if we don't get to all the super chats on a Monday because we get too many, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank you for sending them in. I'm telling y'all now. I'm going to tell you again tomorrow. Last 15 minutes of every UCSS from now on out is going to be dedicated just to super chats. We get 15 minutes to do it. We'll try to get as many as we can in. But for G, I'm Mikey McNuggets. Enjoy a Browns win.
Browns win. Browns win. Browns win. Browns win. Browns win.
Peace.